Welcome back to the Post Plan Podcast, brought to you by Bitcoin.com Casino. We're here for episode 2. Henry and I, we've shed Hugo, and we've brought in Macmate, another one of our neighbors. How are you doing, Mac?
Good, mate. Great, actually.
Multimate.
I'm moist. You know, it's very hot. It is very hot.
Yeah, it really is.
Surely you're used to it, though, being an Australian.
Yeah.
It's got to be your natural habitat.
36 for like 3 weeks straight. That's high. And it's also mega sweaty.
It was also pretty sweaty in Belgrade. I thought we'd have to get a
Dude, it
break
was
from
crazy.
but we didn't.
No, we didn't. That's the weirdest part. Is like you expect it in Malta, so you're mentally prepared for it. But in Belgrade, it's like you walk outside, it's just as hot. And I wasn't expecting it. Luckily, the venue for the FISSURE Playground 1CS, Henry.
Oh yes, good segue.
It was actually completely conjoined, but it was just the most convoluted building in history. So
it was actually the most confusing building I've ever entered in my life. It was like a labyrinth of corridors and unsigned doors. It was actually insane. So it took
was crazy.
No joke, like 3 or 4 days maybe to actually learn how to get from the green room to the casting setup to the kind of canteen, and then getting home. I got lost like 3 out of 5 times. It was like every single journey you made, you get lost in the labyrinth. And I wasn't the only one. I'm not the smartest guy, but still everyone was getting lost.
I think it's because, our initial tour guy was very helpful, but also showed us every possible way to get around. Yeah. I feel like if I was given just one way, I could have remembered it pretty quickly.
Or just a few signposts on the doors.
Oh, yeah, like some stickers.
Anything.
Yeah. Well, that's something to think about for the future. But that was really only our problem. I think, Mac, did you watch much of the tournament from home?
I watched a little bit, more so just to watch the Tyloo games,
right.
Asia. Woo!
Right. So it was in the middle of the player break, Henry. So we kind of phrased it back in the first episode that these are all the teams that kind of have to get a head start in the season.
Yeah, the best of the rest, teams looking to prove themselves, and like a lot of experimental rosters as well,
yeah.
Lots of new lineups, and I think lots of disappointment as well. Like teams like FISSURE, for example, Virtus Pro, Heroic, like all kind of bombed out of the tournament, almost in dead last place. And we're just like, what the hell happened there? Like these are supposed to be the new exciting rosters, especially like FISSURE. I think a lot of it was ring rust. I think players have taken that kind of month and a half without playing too much CS in general. I don't think it's like team practice. I just don't think the hours are in there. And it felt like a lot of names we expect to pop off just weren't there.
Well, we talk about the player break. What have you been up to, Mac, in your time off getting ready for the next half? You just been
playing lots of Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Well, that's great because there's been a lot of big changes to the game, right? So you've been playing. We haven't had a chance to play Overpass yet or anything. So how's that been?
What's the TLDR on the new patch?
I've played. I literally made a video the other day, but I ended up just playing like it for 6 hours, learning utility, screwing around with the map. And Overpass as a map is just so much better than a lot of the maps in the pool in some ways. And then I guess it's also more annoying for players to play in others. The thing about Overpass is there's so many places that you will have to clear because it's one of the maps where teamwork is incredibly important, boosting over so many of the half walls, boosting all over any of the objects on the A site. Like if you have good teamwork, if you have good utility, you don't really have to take much map control. You can kind of just win by putting someone over an object, and it's something that you don't see a lot on a lot of the maps that are currently in the pool.
I think for people where they struggle with overpasses, because there's no real, especially towards the A-bomb side, you don't really have defined position in terms of you'll be playing here, you'll be playing site, and you'll be playing long. You have to kind of mix things up. Sometimes you're going towards connectors, sometimes you're playing playground, sometimes you're in the bathroom, you're just changing your setups, and it's very different than playing Dust 2 and I'll play the B-bomb site. I'm pretty sure that's where coordination, especially when it's coming back into the pool where people don't know utility. I think it's going to be at least a month. To face it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to actually kind of get everyone together and actually understand how to play as a little pug. But have you been playing many Face It games on it?
I haven't played any Face It since it's been out. I played a lot of Face It, and then when it came out, I was like, I'm going to make some videos, and I was just offline, not aim pracking, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to go into it yet.
Have you found any Macmate specials, any good smokes or lineups or one-man executes?
I have managed to find some weird things like re-smoking Monster from long. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that, but it exists.
Just CT side, you can re-smoke Monster?
Yeah, if you're just holding long from the half wall.
That's pretty cool. It's a very long smoke. It's a big distance. Yeah, so you got some big arms on you for that one.
And then there was also utility that I was screwing around with. If you're short or banana or front bathrooms, whatever you call it, this is another thing I'm trying to get my head around. I haven't played Overpass in Europe.
Oh, yes, okay.
Different call-outs compared to Australia. But if you remember Vertex, the team Vertex, they came over to Pro League for one season. They played a lot of Overpass, and they were doing some cool stuff with mollies and nades, where they'd stack the nades on the CT site, and then you'd be playing front bathroom CT where the flower bed is, you nade short pipe and molly short pipe just to control short from up there.
Cool.
There's like a cool little lineup you can do. I've managed to pretty much nail it now. The thing is, it's not just like a run jump throw. It's kind of, you can do it like that, or you can jump and then instead of it being a jump throw, you know, like when you're at the apex, it's not a proper jump throw.
Okay.
But if you throw it too late, then the util goes down. Like this is.
All right. Is there going to be a video of this,
stuff.
Mac?
I feel like, make it more simplistic. I think video, visually, it's going to sound great. Audio only though, nade lineup's not exactly that great.
Tell me about the CT economy update. Have you noticed any big changes there that actually has some impact on the CT gameplay?
It has. So I've managed to cast like some of the last Anubis games we're going to see for a while, right? In the Pro League quals for Asia, as well as something else I was casting. And then last night I also did the ESEA League, which is just like your advanced, your opens and stuff like that.
Sure.
And that was interesting because a lot of the teams started to like win more on the CT side. And I noticed that the economy was just bolstered that little bit more, obviously, especially with ESEA League, everyone's just going for kills. It's not as refined as the top level. But for the Pro League quals, I also found there were a lot of teams winning more on the CT side. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to influence the rest of the maps. And ideally, it should kind of swing the game back a bit more CT side.
If you're not aware, I suppose, now every time a CT gets a kill against the T side, it's $50 per player. So if you get 4 kills, for example, everyone gets an extra $200 into the following round, which seems significant. That's an extra flash, essentially. Like, or maybe the difference between getting a kit or not.
Something needed to be done about the CT side. It felt like it was just becoming very, very weak. Everything was more expensive to be a CT. Utility costs more. They made the incendiary weaker. Like there just seemed like there was so many things about the CT side that
changed the spread time of the incendiary now. So it spreads quicker, right? So it still does the same damage, like not as much as the T-side one, but at least it gets in position quicker.
Yeah, and that was the biggest problem, is like when you knew it was a CT molly coming in, you could just rush it. You didn't have to respect it as much. And I think Inferno in particular, like Banana, you would have to double nade, or you were seeing a lot of more utility need to be dumped in that one spot.
Sure, got to the point I wasn't even throwing an incendiary at Banana anymore. We were just double nading it and holding on to the incendiary for the last minute. Like it just didn't seem worth it. You just could run through.
So overall, positive change. I've seen a lot of players saying it was like one of the best updates in CS in a while.
Best updates.
One of the best.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough. It actually addressed a lot of stuff. Would have loved a VAC update. Gonna keep on bringing that up
that'd be nice.
So,
every week.
Every time I go on Twitter, I see someone's complaining about a cheater in their game. So if we could get that solved, that would be fantastic. We move on to the other side of things, Henry, and it's the fact that should Anubis have been the map that was replaced by Overpass?
I don't think so. I think it's a really interesting map. I think it's still evolving in terms of the meta. I feel like there's so many other stale maps. Like, I'm not a hater of Mirage, but I feel like it's been played to death to the point. Same with Dust 2 in a way as well. When you got maps where every team is running essentially the same default, the same executions, and the same philosophies going into it, Mirage now are just seeing the same thing. Smoke top and middle, smoke window, smoke connector, get the base in mid control, smoke connector again, go short, or split A. And it's getting to the point where it doesn't feel like there's any evolution on it whatsoever. And Anubis, I don't think that's the case. I think that's the meta is changing for that all the time. We're just like understanding now how the CTs can get proper aggression going, like the smoking of the steps, molotoving rugs, and flashing out together. Like there's so many little variations and ideas you have to bring to the table, because it feels like if you don't innovate on the CT side, you will just get ran over. That's why it's become such a T-sided map. Mirage, I don't know. For me, it just feels like every team's running the same play style, and for me, that's why it should have gone first. And it feels like Mirage, has it ever gone? I guess it probably has, but
it went once, I think, when they replaced the bench. Like they put the bench in.
Right, yeah, that's right.
It was out of the pool. They put the bench back in.
Maybe I'm a Mirage hater, but I feel like Anubis was interesting every time we played it.
I think professional players complained a lot about Anubis. There was a lot of them were very vocal. Donk in particular was someone who hated it. I think it was the fact that beat bomb side on the CT side feels really hard to hold.
It is.
Yeah.
It is hard.
So I think Mirage also, there's always been this philosophy too with Valve, is like the matchmaking casuals matter too, right? And it isn't just all about the tier 1 scene of Counter-Strike. Yeah. So Mirage probably has one of the highest play counts of all maps.
I get that. Okay, here's another angle for you. Like, why didn't we bring Cash back? It felt like that was the perfect time.
Because it sucks right now.
I don't know. I've played it a lot on FaceIt. Like when it was in that kind of trial period, I had it on there for a month. I thought it was pretty good. It needed some tweaks, sure. But like for the map to come back as Overpass, it kind of makes sense because that's one of the few maps that had a proper CS2 overhaul. Like actually was a proper redesign.
Yeah, it was out of the pool.
Yeah, and it actually came back with a proper like Source 2 graphics, and it feels like there's other maps still in there that haven't really had that lick of paint on it yet. Cash, it just felt like a no-brainer to chuck that one in, but maybe it's not ready. I guess you're right. But it just seems
It doesn't have the simple graffiti, you know? It's a brand new game. He didn't do it in CS2, but we do have the other graffitis in the game, right?
That's fair. Do we have any other graffitis in the game right now?
The Cold Zero one, does that exist on Mirage still?
No, it does
No?
not.
So, yeah, it's a new
any.
game. So that was CSGO. That's why we don't have it.
The Olaf one's there.
Overpass?
Yeah, because I was looking at it yesterday.
Oh, right, there we go then. We're not consistent with it. We're not consistent with it. Jason, I was speaking to Moses about this, and he was saying that he thinks Overpass, with the way CS2 is played now, Mac, makes it more exciting. You know, we're not going to see that same boring CSGO style of play.
Yeah, I think so. So the way that I feel like the game's working and the teams that are the best on the CT side in the current iteration of the meta are the ones that, you know, calculated aggression. That's what it's all about. You know, nice flashes, trying to take space as the CTs. That's why Anubis, the teams that were good on the CT side, they were the ones that were crunching water, coming in from bridge, coming in from con, pushing A main all at the same time, and just like making it really hard for Ts to then waste a lot of util to re-clear that before they'd have to try and execute a site. And I feel like Overpass may end up working in the same way. I don't think it's going to be the same as before, even though, yes, you can get aggressive as an AWPer, and you can fall back to a line and then fall back to a line, and there's 7 different places you can fall back to have 7 opportunities before you are forced back to site.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit different where you'll still see, you know, riflers getting flashed forward. You know, we could see a resurgence of Team Spirit going crazy as well. You know, Donk loves Overpass, and he's got some crazy clips there, especially over towards that A site. So we're going to see, a bit more aggression than what you would have seen before. And hopefully, you know, for the likes of a bunch of the AWPers that felt like they've been nerfed since CS2's been out, we'll get to see them, you know, play around a bit more.
Now we're in the era of like insta smokes from spawn. I feel like that could be a real problem for T sides. I think that the top teams are going to work out the smokes and CT side to land on the T steps from the get go, and you're just going to be swarming fountain.
You're never going to get out there.
I honestly legit think that's going to be a problem because in CS2, like, it's got to the point that every map has every spawn locked down. Like we've seen it with train happen,
and they're so big as well. Like the smokes are huge.
I do think that's going to be a massive talking point when we start seeing this played. This will be played in Cologne, right? So
yeah, they will be playing in Cologne.
Anyone dare bring it out? If you're an underdog team, you should be choosing it, right? Like, you're a complexity, for example, you should be
working
grinding Overpass and have that veto advantage.
Yeah, question is, will complexity have a lot of time just coming out of the Belgrade competition to get it going? Hopefully they have.
They're always so good at adapting to those sort of maps. Like, they're really good at train as well.
Yeah, they started train off pretty quick.
Yeah,
I guess talking about those teams, Mac, that you mentioned, they are aggressive. We got Tyloo, who have really risen up in CS2.
Ooh,
they won the competition, so exciting to see that happen.
I'll be honest, like, I knew those guys hit hard. I didn't know Jamyoung hit that hard, Mac.
Oh, well, so this is the thing, right? So Jamyoung is like the scariest player in Asia when the RMRs existed. You'd talk to any player that was playing at the RMRs, and they're just like, well, playing against that guy on LAN is something else. You see him and you're dead. Like, you don't see him.
So what was the story with him having to, he went to Valorant for a bit? Like, is that the play?
So he got found by Advent in like pugs. Like,
so he's playing on So Strong, right? It wasn't Face It out in China at that point. He was found on like the So Strong or something like that.
Yeah, it's like another pug service. So Advent, who was like the IGL of Vici or whichever.
It was Vici, yeah.
I think it was Vici at the time. They picked up Jamyoung and we're like, who's this? Where'd he come from? And we managed to get information that he was just found pugging or in retakes or something like that. And we're like, okay, that's a little bit weird, but we'll give him a shot. And then he just was fragging. And it feels like, you know, him and Mercury and Mosea, all 3 of them sort of came in with like crazy firepower, but now Jamyoung's just in this like star position. And it feels like a lot of the time when he went international, he was falling short from what everyone back home knew that he could do in Asia, but getting to see him, you know, punch down on the tier 2 competition and just do what he did at this one, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's one of the most mechanically gifted players I think we've got in Counter-Strike. Like, if you look at his crosshair placement, it's insane how perfect it is. Like, you see him walk around the map, it's just exactly what it needs to be all the time. Launders was doing videos on this guy and his crosshair placement like 2 years ago. And now we're like, now bringing it up, it's like watching him do what he did in the Austin Major, that USP round on Anubis. Like, there's just so many clips and moments from Jamyoung.
I think the one that encapsulates it best is that P250 round he had in the grand final.
Dude, that was nuts.
That was one of the best like plays I've ever commentated. I was watching his like the skill and precision and how clean every shot was. I was like, this guy is like on a different level. Like, this is like something really special we're watching at this tournament. Like, it felt like he was going to get MVP all day long. If they just won the final, he was going to take it, and it was just like indisputed. Like, every game he was dropping close to 30 kills. He didn't have one single bad map.
Yeah, I mean, and what makes it even more impressive is the fact they played the initial group stage games without their coach. They probably had the hardest group as well. Like they had to beat Astralis and VP to get into the playoffs with their coach, you know? So it's
that
crazy.
Just doesn't happen, does it? Like normally like we see like one game with the coach and they just about get it past the line, but they had to take down top tier opposition. They beat Astralis.
And the coach was shitting on VP. He was like 10-2 in the opening of Inferno. Like he was crazy. And Joe King, he was one of the original teammates of Jam Young too. So we played with Jam Young when he first came into the professional scene. So he's got to watch him, you know, grow into the player he is now.
Yeah. He is going to be, maybe not this year, but next year he's going to be like a top 5 player.
Yeah,
like
G was saying that. Like he was saying he's going to be a top 10 player by next year.
It's where we are at the moment with Tyloo winning that. If you paid attention to the VRS update, they're 7th now because it was a $1 million tournament.
Farm points.
Similar to when Mongols won the Yalla last year, and then they got the $1 million thing and shot up, and everyone's like, "What? They can't be that high." But that's just how VRS works, you know, tainted by the prize pool. So it's an opportunity for Tyloo to now make it to more tournaments, get invited to more tournaments, and really do that Mongols-esque streak where they can get a world of experience, and they do have the mechanics to back it up. So that with the experience, maybe we're going to see that brought back to Asia. Maybe we're going to see more teams get opportunities off the back of higher ranking from the Chinese team as well as Mongols.
Well, we spoke to the manager of Tyloo after the final, and he was saying that they still have to perform in Cologne, otherwise that ranking disappears so quickly because Cologne's a $1.25 million tournament, higher prize pool. In the last one, you got higher quality teams at this event as well. So they've got to still perform. They've still got to win a few games, otherwise they lose that spot pretty damn quickly.
That's a good point. I think they keep it going, though. I think they would have no problem. Like everything looked good, like the overall team chemistry, the preparation, the individual skill. Like the only thing that would happen sometimes is like if they play Inferno, Jam Young has to fry a banana every single round. He seems to get blown up by grenades. That's the only time that things go wrong for them, I would say. But apart from that, they seem like a rock-solid squad. And if they can just work out the visa issues with G, shout out to him as well, by the way. He turned up at 5 a.m. on the day he arrived in the semi-final and still got 25 fractions.
He was the highest rated player at the tournament because he played one map. But also, there was a 1.4 rating in the opening map after landing at 5 a.m. Yeah, crazy. And he was also just walking around the hotel just like smiling and happy and full of energy. And
well, that's a good thing to have, like, because they're known to, like, the Asian teams, especially in they don't speak much English. They're quite reserved. They don't get much going on camera. He brings a lot to the stage. Like, every interview he does, he cracks the mic from head.
I know, he's just holding the microphone. It's like, number one rule, never give the mic, never give control of the show over to a player. He's not letting you.
He was doing it at Fisher as well.
Dude, he took the mic off Heku and held it and just talked to the crowd. Like, he didn't ignore the interviewer. It's G giving a lecture to the audience.
He does that, though. If you remember, like, at Pro League, and then I think even at the Major as well, he always, like, when someone hands him the mic to talk, he'll always grab it and just, like, grab it without thinking and talk. And then the interviewer's kind of just, like, little wonky, like, oh, did he? Yeah, all right, we'll go with it. And at least G
I think
is important.
he's such a kind of nice, charismatic man when he gets going. Like, although it doesn't necessarily pertain to the tournament too much, whatever he's saying, but he does get the crowd rallied up and everyone loves it. So
no one wants to hear just about the tournament all the time, right?
That. No,
I just want to hear him talk about ice cream and have a good time.
He normally just says the line is like, Counter-Strike is the best. You guys love Counter-Strike, so I love
We love Counter-Strike?
Yeah, that's kind of his thing.
Hello.
I do like it. It's not that much useful information, but it's fun to listen to.
Yeah, he's got to get a couple more catchphrases going as we move on, though. All right, so Jam Young, HLTV MVP, Chinese team actually getting a tournament win. Joe King got 2 medals. He got the winning coach medal.
2 physical medals?
Yeah, well, HLTV profile.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
He's got
on the stage.
No, that'll be pretty baller, though.
Okay, I see
but no, he won as a coach and a player, so that's unique.
That's
certainly unique. Cool. So he can take that one. Well, we move on to more Fisher, because the exciting thing about this is that Falcons are coming to the next one. That's what we were talking about with Fisher this time. We were looking at the teams. They weren't necessarily the best teams. FISSURE was the only top 10 team, and they obviously bombed out too.
They really did.
So Falcons deciding to go and not take the blasted bounty invite and instead go to FISSURE is like, okay, we're seeing the VRS system kick in where traditionally we'd only see the top teams attend the top TOs, but now we're getting to see like FISSURE's on the rise up and top teams of the best players are wanting to go to these tournaments.
What is the people I saw on Twitter? I don't know exactly. People are saying the blast bounty events aren't that good for VRS.
So the VRS weighting is like 25%. Someone did the numbers on it on Twitter that Yanko brought up in the podcast I did with him, but they were saying that basically the bounty weighting is like 25% for the VRS, whereas FISSURE was like 85%, for example, this one. And so it's so important for the qualification.
There'll be teams that are using like the frequent flyer thing at Blast, so they have to attend, but they'd probably...
Well, they don't have to, it's just you wouldn't get to maximize the chances,
you've actually already got like 3 or 4 events under your belt. You want to keep going to them.
Whereas Complexity, we're talking about how it's almost like a bad thing to attend a Blast tournament because they would leak points. There would be an opportunity to lose more than they gain by just going to the competition. And because they're online too, their manager Messioso was saying that they borderline lose money on it because they have to fly the players to Europe, put them in a hotel or boot camp, pay that fee to play the tournament, and then you risk losing VRS points, and you also have all the costs of the hotels, the boot camp facilities, the meals, everything, because that's not being provided by the TO. So it seems like that format, it's kind of dead in the VRS world that we're in, and that FISSURE competition, and at the same time, is a lot more of a tantalizing project.
I will say, like, the FISSURE kind of like system they've got right now, the fact you've got the venue attached to the hotel, like, it seems like a nice little setup.
Yes,
they've got that
it's a good hotel as well.
5-star hotel, like a Crown Plaza, super nice hotel. Venue's brand new as well. I think the players seemed like, although there were some scheduling issues, I think that we will say like 4
that will
best of
be
threes,
ironed out maybe down the line.
4 best of threes in a day just doesn't seem to work unless you got like actual double the amount of setups you need. And we
That's
games
something we
waiting for the
definitely
wings. We can't be waiting 1 hour between games, but if they can resolve that, which I think is a very easy fix, just get more computers. They've got a really amazing tournament cooking there. Like, it's like the stage was actually beautiful as well. Like, I was commentating from that big like kind of ivory tower in the middle.
Dude, I felt like we were the emperors being presented, the final pieces, just observing.
One of the coolest experiences I've had as a commentator. We're behind the speakers as well, so we're here. We're not getting any feedback from our microphones. We're just getting the crowd's energy and volume, and then
and we get to look at them,
and we can actually get the best experience. It's actually a super sick setup. So I feel like they could be the next danger to Blast and ESL. You know?
Well, that's their ambition, certainly so. So, Mac, did you enjoy watching it from a viewer's perspective?
No, it was good. But like the fact that it was just a LAN tournament from beginning to end as well, you know, that is...
Dude, that's a thing, that is dying for some reason. Like, it's like that used to be pretty normal, but now the Star Ladder have recently said that their tournament's now online in September. Like,
didn't go down too well, did it?
No. Definitely not. They definitely need to practice too. Star Ladder have been out for a while. They got a major coming up.
And just to touch FISSURE again, they had like the best format you can have: GSL best of 3 into best of 5 final as well.
Yeah.
No
could have a third place decider.
I guess that's right. That's the only thing missing, I suppose, having the third place decider because the VRS points.
But I think it would have been such a long day.
It's already a long day.
Yeah,
it's
best of 5 final with a best of 3 third place decider would be a very long day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it has been done.
Has been done before.
But well, that's FISSURE. Excited to see how that goes.
They're cooking an amazing event. Like, good luck to them.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Also, all the animation and stuff that they brought into the show too.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of unique elements of the show. So, for example, we had costumes. You know, where they have a stylist. Henry wore nice yellow pastel rugby shirts.
It was just pastel shirts. I normally wear black only, as you can see. I was wearing yellow rugby shirts, green polo shirts. I'm not complaining about it. It's fine. It's good to mix things up. It's just not my
visually,
style.
It's very good for the show.
It looked great.
Yeah, and it felt good, and it just felt like they have good props. They have fun content. Like they really lock into their style, and they're going for a urban sort of spray paint graffiti vibe this tournament.
Very unique. You can tell it's a FISSURE event because I've been to these small TOs all over the world, and you have as well. I take you on those journeys.
You have taken me down there.
I've taken you some weird places, Henry, but there's some I've been on without you, and I will say that on those journeys I've noticed they've just straight up ripped the ESL branding. Like there was one event I did, I won't name it, but I was in the arena and they straight up stole the IEM Cologne Stage. And it was just like the cathedral, but it's in a country that just has no link to Cologne. And I was like, okay, you can take inspiration, but you've just copied their homework completely here. So I like the FISSURE's completely their own thing.
I guess the thing with that is, depending on which country and how far away it is, you know, the people from that country may never get the experience to go to Cologne. So at least they're trying.
Yeah, sure.
We've got Cologne at home.
You've got Cologne at home, yeah. Well, speaking of Cologne, let's move on to it, shall we? The real Cologne, the real deal. We've got it. It happened again. It happens every single year. It's one of the best tournaments you can ask for. $1.25 million. All the best teams attend. It's always a fun time, Henry. You've cast an unbelievable amount of them, I would assume, and all the big finals.
I think so. Yeah, have I?
A couple of them.
I think I've done,
Do you remember those?
No, I did the first one I did was in 2015, which was a major. That was my first ever arena event, my first ever major, and ended up doing the final there as well.
Wow. Okay.
Really was quite a roller
That's
coaster.
quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's taking a few
I
things
was
off the box.
shitting myself.
So so did you just want to retire from casting after all the goals
Here's an
were
actual
set?
anecdote for you. It was Joe Miller was a talent manager back then when it was 2015. I'd only just commentated since the start of 2014. I'd only started working with Matt early 2015. So I felt like I got asked to do it, and I straight up rejected the invites. I said, I'm not ready to do a major yet.
That's pretty nice of you.
And then I said 3 or 4 times I turned it down. I said, dude, I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to do an arena event right now. I don't think I'm ready. I'm still honing my craft. And then Joe rung me up at 1 a.m. one night. And it's convinced me to do it. He goes, I think you'll really kill this. This is your opportunity. You need to make a name for yourself. So yeah, but they want me to go by myself. They didn't want me to go with Matt. So Matt didn't get the invite up, Sadie-Kiss, if you're not aware. And he didn't get the call up. They wanted me to go by myself.
Wait, that's crazy.
But
Yeah.
with who? Who'd you end up casting with?
It was back in the day, we didn't have duos per se.
It's just
It was
everyone.
Right.
So Anders and Semler, everyone would be there, but every game they'd mix it up. So you wouldn't,
Yeah.
I'd be casting with Pansy, cast with Joe, cast with D-Man. They'd pin me with someone else every single game. So he asked me to go. And yeah, I ended up not only doing the arena, also doing the final in a tri-cast, when I've never done a tri-cast before, never commentated with Anders or D-Man before that game, and did a tri-cast with the grand final. So yeah, I've got some stories of Cologne, and it's what the main memory I have from my professional career is walking out to that stage for the first time, seeing the 10,000 people out there.
Wow.
And that's when I started shitting myself. It's these people are all here to listen to me.
Yeah.
This is
None of them are here for the counter strike. It's all for me.
I don't think I'm ready for this right now. That's it's so daunting.
Yeah, of course.
They had the actual setup next to the crowd. You could see everything. I felt woozy getting out there. I was like, God, I don't know if I'm supposed to be I'm a Counter-Strike player. I'm not a commentator.
Now you're
point.
standing on an arena where some of the biggest rock bands in the world play.
My
and
dad's suit jacket.
yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
like massive overcoat.
I really wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the point I'm making is it's a very prestigious event. It's the most important event we have outside the majors.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah. To think about it, it's 2019 you commentated the Team Liquid Grand Slam win as well.
I commentated that.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. I remember he's they just unlocked the Intel Grand Slam. Stewie stands
Okay,
up on the
does
stage.
sound like me.
That's a long time ago.
That is a long time
but it feels like yesterday. But let's move into 2025's matches, Mac. Opening game, we got big. The Germans coming in. A very disappointing
This is
FISSURE.
the first stage of Cologne, though, right?
Yeah.
This is the play-ins,
This is
right?
the opening stages,
Yeah.
the opening matches. FaZe versus Big Mac. What are we thinking about that? Because Big are a team that kind of disappointed in Belgrade, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like after that disappointment, and then also not really having too much success through the first half of the year,
Right.
I wouldn't be feeling like they'll be the ones to take it. It is best of 3 opening matches, right?
Should be. I think so.
If it's best of 3s,
Yeah, it's best of
FaZe
3s,
should
yeah.
be taking that every single
It's all
time.
best of 3, so yeah, FaZe should be taking that. But Big every year, they talk about it in their loser interview.
Home turf.
They're like, we have to go to Cologne, we have to perform. The
I
Roaring
think
Bears.
this is bigger than that. I feel like if this is another disaster for Big, this is the last time you see this roster. I feel like it's
Yeah.
I think Crimbo is finally listening to the kind of community response. He's might be
do something.
his career might be spiraling at this point. Tabson was one of their best players though in Belgrade.
He was. It was crazy, dude.
That's great for him and everything. But boys, where are the other lads here? They can't just be.
This is meant to be the best German team you can make.
Yeah, and it's just not. Is it? Doesn't seem like it's really working.
Maybe
out.
it's the best German team, but it's certainly not the best team.
But this just for the fact it's on home turf right now, and everything feels like do or die. I feel like if this is another disaster, that they won't be keeping things together. And that goes for all the teams here, I think, at Cologne as well.
Yeah. Very tough opening against Liquid. For Pain, I think that's going to be an exciting one. Liquid versus Pain. Liquid, obviously, we just talked about them in the last episode, Henry. Like, give them a little more time. You're like, how much more time do you need? And
they changed their roster so much.
But they didn't change their roster.
Ideas. I know.
And they lost in the Pro League qualifiers. They've lost the VRS points.
Sanshi or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Sashi, yeah.
Sashi, yeah.
Sashi, I was thinking of Sango.
Oh,
Sashi, yeah.
Liquid. This
is, again, if this is another tournament where NAF doesn't turn up, this has got to be the last time for it as well. It's got to be. If you're going to stick with this roster and it just bombs out and it's the same old results where NAF hasn't shown up, no one really looks that passionate in the server, it's got to be time for a change, I guess. And my point is how many changes this team going to have before we get the results. We know they've got a good squad. It's good pieces, but they can't seem to bring it together. I do hope to be proven wrong. I do like them as players and individuals.
The difference will be like that was online, and some of these like tier 2, tier 3 teams online can pull out some crazy stops and catch you off guard. And when you're Liquid and you're mostly playing land, you're mostly in the local, in the area competitions. They have a lot more experience, so we should hopefully see them hit a stride here at Cologne, more so compared to the horrible situation that happened to them online.
They're playing against Pain, right? Pain didn't have the most amazing run in Belgrade.
No, they didn't. And I'm so glad I sold them. I told Hugo last time I'm selling them high because this is a team that peaked at the semifinals of a major. It's only going to go downhill. Yeah. Sell them. I'll buy them back a little bit later when they start showing some promise again. But they dropped off, and I think that's probably expected. But also, when you look at Pain, they've actually started to play with their real roster now. They're getting all their players on board. But I just think like I wouldn't even say they could guarantee a win against Liquid at all. Like, it feels like Liquid should still win this matchup, even though like the results have been better for Pain recently.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to call it. So Liquid, they've been knocked out of EPL.
Close qualifier.
They haven't changed roster, and I don't know. I'm not going to be buying their stock anytime soon.
It's weird. Like, they moved Twists back to a fragging role off the IGL, and since then, there hasn't really been anything going super well for them. And you thought bringing Shuey in, who was, racking up some pretty good numbers before moving into Liquid. He's also, done some.
I mean, I don't really want Shuey to frag. I just wanted to make the team look good. I mean, there's enough firepower in that team. You want Shuey to be able to get something out of Ultimate. You want to get Twist back to some sort of high level. I think you've seen glimpses of that. Naf's the big one, right? Like it's just Naf. Like we
need him back.
Yeah, we need him back.
Mr. Consistent, Mr. Stable.
Yeah, exactly. Reliable Naf. Well, that's Team Liquid. I mean, the other side of things is like NIP are going to be playing Heroic. NIP, we haven't seen them at many big events recently, obviously with the whole roster blow up and trying to get their way up their VRS ranking. They made a roster move. They got rid of Aris Doss. They've brought in Kaspersky.
Kaspersky. Do you say
it's
the
not
X?
an easy name to say.
I don't think you say the X, right? You just say
Kaspersky. Well, he's a Polish, 18-year-old Polish player.
I've heard he's very good. I don't know much about him.
Yeah, he was playing the ENCE team for a little while, and he was part of the Young Ninjas. So he left the NIP organization to go to ENCE, and now he's brought back to the Ninjas.
This might be your wheelhouse, Mac. You watched him play before?
I haven't watched this iteration of them play. I also haven't watched them. I think I've watched him play, but I haven't actually casted him. So
all right, so we've got nothing to bring to the table.
Yeah, we don't have a lot. But yeah, I've also say if I was Trav, he probably would have a lot to say about this.
Right. Okay. So we'll get Trav for the next episode.
Yeah, phone him in.
Get Trav.
Get him on there. But look.
Right. Well, his performances in ENCE seem pretty good. His numbers are really high. So
that's what I've heard. I just heard he's the future.
He has a crazy amount of firepower. 98 out of 100 on the HLTV. He's tearing up all these weak competition. He beat Sashi, which Liquid didn't. So there we go. That's I'm looking forward to it. I think people are just excited to see Kaspersky play. And a young Polish player. We've kind of lost Poland, haven't we? We've lost them.
Ultimate still.
Yeah.
He's kind of...
There's a couple of players kicking around, but maybe he's the truth. Maybe he's the real deal.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll buy some stock of his.
But it's more interesting for me to talk about the Heroic team because I think last week I was really high on them. And then we watched them play in FISSURE and it's like, guys, I forgot they were in the tournament. Exactly. There's got to be more time.
It's weird because I didn't really rate them super highly going into the major. But
well, they didn't have that's because their roster was blown up.
Yeah, it was going all over the place. But yeah, then they ended up having an okay... did they make many roster swaps moving into this season?
Yes, a lot of roster moves. It's pretty much a whole new team.
Yeah, right, okay. I haven't really been paying attention to too many of the roster swaps.
Right, so Nilo's in the team now.
Nilo's in the team.
And they brought Grix.
Grix he does look very good. I'll give him that. He could be the next big thing. His AWP does look fantastic. I'm hoping he can step up. I am joking a little bit. The need more time thing is a bit of a meme, but
they do.
Nilo is out of the scene for is it 6 months? I think. So first tournament back. Everyone was rusty there. It's really difficult to take that much away from FISSURE because I feel like everyone was just going, right, it's the first tournament, we'll warm up into it. And if you've lost 2 games, you were out of the group stages.
Well, that's exactly what we were saying. Teams that need the head start went to FISSURE. And Heroic, one of the teams that needed to figure out something that was broken. We spoke about FlyQuest last week, about JKS coming in. Mm-hmm. Excited to see how he's going to perform. This is definitely your wheelhouse, Mac. The Aussie's back. Do you think we're going to see FlyQuest hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think that this is probably going to be one of the best iterations of an Australian roster in terms of the firepower that the individuals can provide.
Yanko said it's the best Australian team ever.
Yeah, Like we still need to see results from it, but on paper, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the counterpoint to that is the Renegades team with Kassad, and they went to the major playoffs into the semifinals.
Semifinals, right? Yeah. I don't, that might have been the best run of all time. I'm not sure if it was the best team. I think that Ryan's saying on paper, this is like the actual best roster you can make right now. Liaz, when he was kind of the end of his tenure, this organization, you could say it's probably time, need to make a change. And this is a proper blockbuster move. People are going to be really behind it. It's like the nation's team. JK's coming back. He's been around in Europe and he's like finally coming back home. I think that's super exciting. The storyline's cool. You kind of want to see them win. You want to see some success. We're done with the heartbreak for this squad. They're always so close, but yet so far. Let's see them make at least a run into the second stage of the tournament. Kind of take some big scouts with them. That would be great. That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
They released the vlog as well, and it sounded like from everything that Justin was saying in the vlog that he is trying to be more of like the experienced figure, like happy just to adapt to the team. He said, you know, even just like learning call-outs as well. Apparently they're super different because it was like mostly Australian call-outs, and he's been playing in Europe and America for however bloody long now. So those adjustments, but then also just, you know, being open and saying, hey, if there's anything you want to improve on, like a father figure almost. He's 29 now, so he is getting older, even though he still has that sort of young vibe about him. So should fit in with the team well.
I hope so. It's a team I'm kind of looking forward to. They're boot camping in Europe as well, I believe.
They were in Serbia at the ENAT thing. Yeah, so they've been boot camping for a long time.
There's no jet lag. There's
no excuses, Henry.
This is the one.
They don't need time. They just need to frag.
Let's make a dent in the tournament.
All right.
Everyone's behind you.
Let's talk about the teams that are in stage one and who we think is going to move through in Cologne. For me, Astralis are a team that I'm really behind at the moment. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I thought they were going to get the win in FISSURE. Like, they lost to Thailand at BO5.
The big names didn't turn up when they had to.
So that's just the story with these players, though, isn't it?
They were going to map up in the grand final, like in their opponent's pick. And it felt like, okay, this is finally it. They're going to turn up. They're going to get that trophy. But then Hook sees your top fragger. Fair enough. Like, Rasmus has been stepping up. He's been grinding left and right.
But he shouldn't be in a team with Device, Stahon, and Yavi.
And he should not be the top fragger, and your other names should be stepping up in those sort of games. Like, Tyler are a very good team, but they're not unbeatable. You know, like they did not play a game that was like, wow, they played perfect CS. So a lot of fumbled rounds, a lot of like difficult economic situations for them. Astralis stole a lot of rounds as well. Plenty of runway to win that game. It just felt like, sure, like it was close again. Really impressive. It got back-to-back finals at this point. Like, that's awesome for them. But I think they should have had this final, and I hope they can actually keep going. So it's the first time I've actually been behind the Astralis organization, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Hooksy's made them likable again.
Yeah, he absolutely has.
Yeah.
And that's such a massive. Not only is like the roles make sense, you've got a solid in-game leader, and not everyone hates you anymore. So there is that.
There's that, that is true. That is pretty huge. All right, let's take a look at those teams then. So Astralis, you think they're going to make it through?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so that's one of the 8 teams.
Double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up. Mac, we think FaZe is going to make it through.
Oh, they got Brokey.
They got Brokey back.
I don't know, dude.
I think he's got something to prove after being benched for the major. He's
got a new hairstyle.
He's growing the hair out, right?
Wait, he's growing it?
Yeah, it's growing out. Yeah, it's looking good. He had that whole Rocky montage on the beach. So
that was a good video.
Yeah, he's back. He's doing press ups.
So FaZe, let's say for argument's sake, yes, double thumbs up. They should be making it. If they're not, it's an absolute disaster.
Astralis FaZe through. There's 2 of them. Looking at the rest of the board, Furia. Do we think they're going to make it through?
Yeah, Molodor's too good.
Okay, Molodor's too good.
Molodor is like the truth. Yekindar, I'm gonna sound mean here. Like, I feel like he threw the tournament a little bit.
At FISSURE?
Yep. I feel like he was way too aggressive. He wasn't in form. It looked like he was frustrated. And it was like every advantage they got, he would find a way to overcompensate, get himself caught, like by pushing a smoke or over-aggressing a kill, and it felt like too many rounds were thrown away.
Right.
I feel like he'll be aware of that, and once he finds his form, Molodor can get them through so much, and K-Serato as well, because he was playing unbelievable CS during the tournament.
When we saw them come out with this iteration of the roster, like, I was so hopeful. We got to see like a new brand of Train. They were getting really aggressive, just playing super for that Olaf
That Train
position.
is amazing right
now.
And
that looks really good. But the thing, and I think that's probably going to be a slight buff moving to Cologne, right? Because Overpass is in the pool, so more teams are going to be forced into either playing Overpass or picking up Train and showing what they're made of. So, this is going to be a cool point for teams like Fury that have been focusing on Train.
All right, so we should focus. Okay, so Furia, FaZe, Astralis making it through. That's 3 of our 8 teams. I think the other, now this is where it's interesting, because you've had some teams that we got to see at FISSURE, and I think it's ruined everything for me. Like, I would say I'm excited about VP. Now I'm not. Like, now I have zero faith in them.
I don't want to see them win.
Yeah.
I'm giving them 2 thumbs down.
This is the damn thing with VP.
Every time you think, they're going to do well, they choke. Every time you think, nah, they're kind of mid at the moment, they win. Like, this is what happened at the major. I was like, no, they're kind of not doing anything.
He does.
He does that, yeah. I suppose that's true.
Like this, and now we're in the state of going VP. Nah,
they're so difficult to support.
So bad.
I don't know. There's something about them. Like, it just feels like you make all these moves, and it's like nothing ever changes. And I don't know, like the fact that Electronic's still the in-game leader, and like his absolute individual skill has fell off the edge of a cliff now. Like, he bottom frags like every single game. That's not. He was one of the best riflers in the entire world, in the entire game of Counter-Strike just a few years ago. Surely it's not like pick your poison, top fragger or zero frags. It can't just be that. Like, it's surely not worth having him as in-game leader at that point.
Yeah, it's
not like he's like, I
think it's like the last chance for Electronic to be an in-game leader. Like, how many opportunities do you need, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, it's not like that like tactical masterclass they're putting down on the server every time. It's just sort of the slow methodical stuff we've always seen.
Well, the big change was bringing a player back that hasn't played in a year.
Yeah,
and looked like he hadn't played in a year at the tournament. So,
he's a rough one.
I think that
let's say that they're not going to be part of the R8 at least.
No, not going to be a part of it. All right, then the other side of things is Complexity and Liquid. We'll do the Americas teams. Complexity at least started FISSURE. They look good.
They look good. Yeah, I've never got to watch Sixy properly before.
Yeah,
I thought he was pretty decent. I thought Grim was playing a great tournament as well. I feel like Hulzak's always going to be strong, but his form and his passion, like, he seems like he's really locked into the game right now. He was so close to winning some ridiculous rounds so many times in a row. Complexity, good team. Whether they can make it top 8, I think they'll take some scalps. I think they'll have some upsets, but I don't think they make it through.
Well, fair enough. So Liquid, do you think they're going to make it through on the other side of the Americas side of things?
I think if Cole aren't making it through, you can't put Liquid through.
Okay, that's a fair point. But but look at the other teams in the competition. I mean, you're looking at all the chances that you have. Like, there's 8 out of the 16 teams make it through. You have a lot of these lower chances. You take some losses.
Yeah,
I mean, the other teams are big. Like, what's the thing about the weakest teams in here? It's like, I think 3 Max look really weak. Their start of the year has not been good. Gamer Legion got bodied in the playoffs, but they made it to the playoffs.
They made it to the playoffs, but Ash's interview said they bottled it.
Like, they're just they choke on the big stage.
Yeah, and so I say this stage of the tournament, they actually, if Kersey can find his form, like, I haven't seen it yet. I thought he was pretty mid.
Dude, I thought he was less than mid. Like, he really was very quiet. I trust when Ash and all his team say, like, he is out. He is the chosen one. He's the next thing. Yeah.
if he gets his form together, I haven't seen it yet. I thought he was pretty mid. I think they'll go through. They always manage to get through. Whenever you doubt them, I think Rez is in really good form now as well. Gamer Legion for me, they're a team that's like pretty hopeful of going through.
I'm going to put Tyloo through, obviously winning a tournament. So Tyloo, so we've got all the red logos going through apart from 3D Max at the moment. So FaZe, Furia, Astralis, Gamer Legion, Tyloo. So that's 5 teams.
Yeah.
I think Bait are a team that many people always underestimate.
That's true.
Yeah, and
they are super good.
I'm going to put them through. Like,
I'll put Bait through.
I'll put them through. Like, that, I feel like that's going to be one of those teams that just make it in. Like, the first stage of a competition, you kind of doubt them.
They are the kind of upset team, aren't they? A team you don't
and
expect
they're really
to do
good
much.
on LAN. Like, they're super good on LAN every time they played it.
So I'm gonna say Bait make it through. I'll give FlyQuest a run too. They've been boot coming. I'm gonna say FlyQuest got through. So that's up to 7.
That's 7. We've only got one more.
Yeah, and that one is between Heroic, Liquid, or Pain. For me, those are the 3 teams I think it'll come down to.
My heart tells me Heroic, but I don't think they're ready yet. Like, I want it because I think Tanir's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's the kind of player that can kind of, when he's got Grix now as well, a countryman, I think they're even more fired up to kind of step up. If Nilo can find his form, I don't know. It has to be Liquid, though. Let's say Liquid and to try and manifest it, I suppose. Like, I don't want to see Naf.
Come on, Liquid. Let's go.
I don't want Naf to lose his job, Mac.
Do you want Naf to lose his job, Mac?
Well, I would have preferred him to lose his job and keep JKS in the roster. But now look what we've got.
That's probably fair.
Right. Yeah, that's true. We can have the best of both worlds. All right. We're going to go for Liquid. Liquid going through. So our 8 teams are FaZe Clan, Furia, Astralis, Gamer Legion, Tyloo, Liquid, Bait.
Okay, Bait's the Joker card.
Yeah, that's the Joker card. I actually think maybe you're better than Liquid, though, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so that's the teams we're thinking is going to make it through Stage 1 of Cologne. Exciting times ahead. I always love Cologne. It's one of the best times of year. Hopefully we get some great playoffs as well. Looking at the competition, though, I mean, there's some cool roster moves that have happened heading into it. G2, they've got some Pius and Saw coming into the roster.
True.
They definitely wanted Saw. They've got some Pius, too. I think he's got some experience with the team, and I think you bring in Mattis from Fnatic. Like, that's a player that's shown great signs in Fnatic. Like, actually maybe gets to play Counter-Strike. I never get to see Fnatic, so let's go.
I think it looks like a really solid roster.
Yeah.
In fact, you've got Hunter as the in-game leader now as well, right? he will have learned so much from the previous. He's had so many in-game leaders come in and out. He'll learn from the good ones. He'll learn from the bad ones. Bear in mind, you got like Alexi B in that mix. You got Hooksy, Snacks, like all different schools of thought. I think he's Nico, of course, like Nico that has cool for them in Dallas, right? So he's learned a lot from him. I think Hunter's ready for this stage in his career. He's a really calm, disciplined guy. I feel like he can handle the responsibility. Yeah. He was already like forming the CT setups, I believe, in the previous iterations of G2. So now he's going to be at the helm, and he knows he's got to step up. And I feel like he's got the pieces to work with. Got a new coach behind him as well, bringing new ideas. I feel like it's a really exciting prospect. Whether this is the tournament, we see them get it done. I don't think they're ready.
Do we know if like what is he going to change role wise? Is he going to still have all the same roles as he had before, or do you think he's going to sort of take more of a back?
I think he needs to be part of the team. He needs to be more part of the pack.
Yeah,
he's
rather
going to be in-game leader. I guess we'll have to find out. But
I mean, Hunter would do anything. I think
exactly. Yeah. Like
you got all the players on the squad that you need now, and I think he's gonna happily take whatever roles required.
This is the logical conclusion to his career now. Like getting older in age and like got that experience and younger players around him. It's time to kind of take the sacrifices and do what you have to for the team.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who are they playing in the opening game?
Their opening game we don't know yet because they'll be in the next stage.
The next stage. Okay, yeah, you're right. We don't. That doesn't get seeded.
So, but that's just one of the interesting storylines coming into.
That is really interesting. I think G2 like I don't think they'll make a super deep run at this tournament, but I'd love to see them do well. Like I the fact that they love Snacks, but it wasn't necessarily going to be winning many.
No, I think that was done. I think that run its course. I think once you lose, you have a firepower vacuum like losing Nico and Monacy. There's a whole rebuild, like a whole changed environment.
Yeah.
The next step, the biggest storyline everyone's excited about is Falcons, right? Because they're bringing in Kazuke, and this guy's been like touted as the next Donk, and all the pressure's on his shoulders. Magic says that he thinks they can win Cologne because of Kazuke.
I think they probably can. Yeah. Like they'll not be the need more time crew. They'll be in the honeymoon. We've got so much firepower. We're blowing everyone up just by looking at them. That's the kind of vibe they're bringing to the table. I feel like the aura is going to be insane on this. Like every time you play them, the confidence, the laughter, the high fives. I think
fragging.
Nico and Odyssey going together with this new found kind of super kid.
He seems to have mad confidence too. Like his mindset for 17-year-olds.
I think he'll be looking to prove himself. He's going to have some swagger on the side.
Yeah. What I want from him is like you know how Donk came out on the Kato stage and won the whole thing
and had the highest record ever on a Katowice stage.
But better. From all the hype, imagine if Kyosuke comes out and just does better than Donk at Kato.
Dude, it's pretty exciting that possibility because, you know, everyone's like, oh, Spirit missed out on getting Kazuke on the team. Imagine Donk and Kazuke playing together. I think it's far cooler to have that storyline of like Spirit chose Donk. They didn't choose Kazuke. Kazuke basically told Spirit, go fuck yourself. I'm going to join Falcons now. I mean, they give me the big bag. They give me the big offer.
I think Spirit are kind of that place now where they're also having to consider lineup changes, which they are. Yeah. They've also got Chopper as their in-game leader. I don't think he's good enough to play in the number one team in the world anymore. Yeah. Just individually. I feel like if you've got this exciting Falcons roster, with all the funding they've got, I think the ceiling's much higher. Even though they've got Donk, that's great, but like they've got to make other changes in their roster. I think the in-game leader is the main one. Yeah. Falcons, it feels like plugging him in, and you've got so much firepower and skill on the team. It's going to be
time to take down Vitality.
Yeah, I think this could be the team that I don't think I think they give them. I think the final's going to be Falcons Vitality. Yeah, but I don't think they take them in the final.
We'd be so lucky to have that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think that's the final. But
that is the most hyped final. Like out of all of the best of fives, out of all of the finals that we've had for the first half of the year, like. There's a little bit of bias because I was there, but the Melbourne one was crazy. Like the Melbourne,
it was a really good final.
Was insane.
Yeah, it was so good.
So many good maps, and I just want to see that again. Like I have the hunger for it.
That'd be fantastic.
I forgot how good that was. Yeah, that final was insane,
crazy.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
it was just like overtime.
Yeah. Oh. Well, moving on into the other side of things is like Falcons dropped off at the major too. Like they had such a devastating run there, so they want to pick up and the new season get it going as quickly as possible. Navi, a team that made a change. Their JL's obviously gone. Makasi's in. We talked about him already in the last episode. Don't really want to dive too much into it, but we're gonna get to see Makasi play. What Navi are gonna look like with him. Yep. I think they're going to need time. I don't think Navi are going to be like hitting the ground running and competing with the number one squads they've got in the world.
They don't convince me the same way Falcons do. I think they're just plugging holes. They didn't necessarily want to lose a player before Cologne, for example. That JL going out, he seems happier. Hopefully, like there'll be some sort of honeymoon period. I just want Makazi to do well. Did not see like the young kid to step up and show us he can hang at this level.
Yeah, for the unfortunate part though, Mac, start of the year, Aurora, one of the best performing teams. Zantares, one of the best performing players of this year. Zantares is not going to be with the team. They have Xflow coming in.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to affect Aurora's chances of being one of the top contenders?
I think with Overpass coming in, we're going to see Woxic hit his old stride again.
All right.
Hopefully they pick it up. I'm just hoping that Aurora is going to be one of the teams that roll it back on Overpass. They used to be a pretty solid Overpass team from what I remember back on like even Space Soldiers era, right? There was a lot of Turkish players that love that map. So they're one of the teams that was early adapters and doing really well on Train. So you have Train in the pool. With Overpass coming back, I can see an argument for that working up for them as well. But yeah, no Zantares is big hit.
I will say that Xflow, not as good as Zantares, but still a very, very good player. He was just recently in Heroic. And I would say he brings a lot more positive energy than Zantares ever could. Like, when I look at Zantares, I can just tell he's just not a happy dude. Like, you don't really want to play CS with him. Like, he feels like he just gets super pissed off, always smashing the desk. Xflow at least is bringing the good vibes, and I think they're worth the weight in gold, Dinko.
Yeah.
He can like kind of make up for the output not being as high as Zantares by kind of raising morale and they're kind of a bit more cheerful.
Yeah.
That could just help out for them.
And I think they definitely need that going into a big tournament without their star player. We'll see how Aurora do. Spirit bringing Zwei in over Magix. And we talked about again that last week and what that might mean, but Spirit, they've had some time with this roster at least to practice ahead of the season. They're coming in at the same time as the top squads. I think they kind of run their course of Magix, need a firepower upgrade. They didn't have enough aggressive players. I was speaking to some of the management at Spirit. They were saying, we just didn't feel like we had enough aggressive players. Need to change that. Yeah, this at least helps with that.
I hope so. Kind of like, we can't just keep talking about Donk all the time.
It has to be someone else.
It has to be a kind of a supporting cast going with him. It's Zwei, right? Are we going with Zwei or Zwei?
I say Zwei. That's what I've been saying.
I've heard people say Zwei online. I've
really?
heard other people say that. I'll go Zwei as well. I thought it was. I watched a few videos today where people were saying that, but
I spoke to the Spirit guys. They said Zwei. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, I think we'll go with that. But picking an overall winner for Cologne, for me, it's like, do you want to go with Falcons or Vitality? That's kind of the two teams that I think are in contention for this. And I think just to be exciting, I'll do Falcons.
I would like to see Falcons win. It would be a lot more fun than the same old, well, they've done it again.
Yeah. Have Vitality win the other trophy.
Another trophy.
Would be sick, though, for Apex to win back-to-back Colognes, though.
Yeah, it's good to, like, I wouldn't be mad if Vitality won.
No, as long as it's a good
the
game.
Level they're putting down. Zywoo, like, this looks unreal form right now. The whole squad is all stepping up. Wouldn't be surprised if they won. Would love it though if Falcons could actually find a way. Maybe it won't be Falcons, but that's like the kind of the holy grail of grand finals.
That's what we're hoping for. The holy grail in the Cathedral, Mac.
Yeah, well, it was Legacy that managed to cause that upset. So
true.
They aren't
in
unbeatable.
a best of one though, right?
Yeah, but that was a best of one. Start of the major. Yeah, it was a good thing for them. But I guess. Vitality is definitely favorites. I'll say Falcons second favorites. The underdog team, I'll go with Spirit. Fuck it. I think
the underdog.
That is completely out of blue. Like if Donk has an insane tournament, you know it's so good. Like if that changed environment works, Chopper doesn't have a crap tournament individually, Shiro's playing well. Like Spirit is still so sick.
I'll go with Navi and Makazi just in terms of like you've got Blade as the coach. Maybe he
figures it out pretty quick.
It's like they finally have a honeymoon period. They bounce back. Would like to see them do well. It's been too long. It feels like it's just quite depressing over there.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I feel like I want to see FaZe hitting form again. Brokey coming in, having his best tournament of the year so far. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd
be pretty cool. Nice story.
They have to come from stage one as well.
Exactly. So it's a long run, a long way. And I feel like, sometimes teams that run through that first stage feel a bit more warm moving into the second stage as well. That's true. So they could have that going for them.
Right, we have a new segment here because we had it last week. We called it buy, sell, hold, which is not really rolling off the tongue, is it? Yeah. So we call this one counter stocks as we get into it, Mac. And basically this is the segment where we buy, sell, and hold items that we think that are exciting or pretty weak that we might want to get rid of, or, things that we're just completely out on. So we get into it, and some of the options we put down here, Mac, are for a buy. What's for sale? We've got Asia as a region, and I think you're pretty excited about that, right?
Yeah, I definitely right now would be buying Asia as a region.
The whole of Asia.
The whole of Asia.
Max got the bank.
Yeah,
Invest in Asia right now.
Even though for the Pro League qual we did have Ho2 going through, which is technically, I think they're mostly Kazakhstani and they came across. So count them as Asia. Hey, they could potentially be doing some stuff. But yeah, Mongols, major grand final, that's huge. Tyloo starting to look like the best form of any Tyloo we've probably ever seen. We did, was it Beijing that they won
They never won a tournament, but they went to Shanghai final.
Shanghai final. That's probably what I'm thinking about. But yeah, that was probably the best that Tyloo's ever done. So it's good to see, Asia winning trophies, getting the trophies on, the HLTV profiles,
right,
as well as big W's. But yeah, having two teams that can contend.
Mongols
with
Tyloo is really the story for me. It's like, damn, we got Tyloo who are winning a tournament, Mongols who are the major finalists. Asia is obviously the second best region in Counter-Strike right now. So I think it's a fair thing to buy.
I thought that was a bit of a meme when people started saying that, but it actually is true. Like they're looking super
North America
solid,
fell off.
and they've properly been grinding as well. They've actually like honing their craft, keeping the rosters the same, kind of like just making sure they turn up, getting a little bit better. I'm talking about Mongols primarily, but like they just seem to get slightly better and get more kind of reps on the stage, and they come back swinging every single tournament and just evolving. And it's what you love to see. Just the pure passion for the game and turning to every event and just putting in a good shift each and every time.
Well, you seem to be kind of high on Hunter. And when we were talking about him, Henry, would you buy his in-game leadership?
I think so. I think Hunter is such, like I said before, a calm individual. He's been around for a long time. He's learned from some of the greats in the game. His individual levels actually got much better this year. I think towards the end of CSGO and the start of CS2, he was like alarmingly bad. It felt like he didn't have a place in this team if it was going to be a roster change. But he has been grinding as well. It feels like his actual individual level has found its form once again. I don't think he'll ever go back to where he was in his peak of CSGO. But the fact that he's like got this new responsibility and knows he's going to have to be more sacrificial as a player, build up his teammates and actually learn from the previous mistakes of maybe the coach or the other in-game leaders. I feel like this is a good opportunity for him to define himself as an in-game leader and give himself some longevity towards the end of CS2. Yeah. Because it feels like if he just kept going as like a anchor player or just a role player in general, he wouldn't have had much time left in Tier 1.
Yeah, would have been the end of the charm, but now we get the second wave of his career.
So yeah, I feel like I am buying into it, and I hope I'm not proven wrong, but I feel like he can step up.
All right, you've sold me.
Yeah.
Double thumbs up for that one.
Inspire his teammates and hopefully do well.
Resurgence of GT.
I also buy. I'll give you some investment for that one. Overpass for me, I was originally like, when I read it, I was like, shit, I hate this map. Because I just remember, and then I thought about why I hate it. And it's because VP used to play it a lot, and I had to cast a lot of their games.
MR15 VP games on Overpass was actual hell. Like for a commentator, because like, you're going overtime. You know it's going to be an execution with 10 seconds.
You know you're missing your dinner reservations. You know you got to hold your piss in for 5 hours. You know you have all these things that you're just like, oh shit, it's VP, and we got. I remember one time very specifically, Hawk and I were casting in 2021 Cologne, and NIP and Mouse had just had the most crazy game where it was Mouse and Liquid or something before that, and went into overtimes. It's like 1 a.m. and we look at which our next game is. Obviously, we knew. But NIP versus VP as a 1 a.m. game. It's like, and then obviously the veto comes in, you Overpass as a third map. Of course, it goes to 3, it goes to overtimes.
Piss spoiler of the game, isn't it?
But it's like you go outside, the sun is already up, and it's like, guys, okay. So I that, and also I had to cast the NIP Amcal game, which was on Overpass. So I realized I have a lot of trauma, but I worked through it, and I got to the point with Jason where he was like selling me back. He's like, dude, I know we both casted that awful game in Ep Amcal, but it's going to be better with CS2, different styles. And you don't have VP, that JM team doesn't exist anymore. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I'm more sold on it now. I believe that the style of play in CS2 is going to make it exciting. I think we're going to see just mad fights, rushes straight towards the fountain,
I think
get behind those
now
smokes.
With the CS kind of open skyboxes in CS2 and the fact we can blow smokes open especially, there's going to be so many
monster pops on timings.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be so many pops and like interesting ideas you got with the kind of the waterfall smokes you're seeing as well. There's going to be ways, I know there's ways to do it already. You can like, if a team's throwing incendiaries towards monster, denying the rush, you can throw certain smokes that extinguish that from top down and maintain your vision as you run through and stuff. There's going to be really crazy, innovative things happening. I'm thinking like the Heaven smoke, for example, being able to pop that open as an AWPer. Like you think you've smoked it, that's not just a guaranteed cover anymore.
So I think rediscovering something old, making it new, Mac, so that's what I'm buying. I'm buying Overpass. I'm not exactly happy about Anubis being replaced, but Overpass itself, I'm happy enough.
I'm happy it's. I don't think it's. I think we'll get to this later on the Cell segment, but I'm happy Overpass is in. I just don't think Anubis should have been the map that was going out.
Yeah, well,
I'm on
You
that
good on
bandwagon as
Overpass,
well.
Mac?
I love it. It's
All
literally
right.
my favorite map of all time. So
Perfect. Mac,
bought-
you should have bought this one.
Yeah, I bought
but Asia's your thing. All right, we'll get to the sell section. We know what we've bought, and we'll look at the sell side of things. Liquid roster. I think I'm going to sell them. I think bottom out. This is like the worst asset you can hold right now. It's just gone. It's worth nothing. And so I'm going to get rid of it.
The price is so low, presumably it's worth maybe even holding. The thing where it's so low, like you wouldn't get much.
You raised a great point, but I'm so disgusted and embarrassed by holding it that I think I might get rid of it.
Fair enough. Like I think they would admit that as well. I think they as an organization have said this is not good enough, and they've kind of addressed that in the kind of statements about keeping the current roster and stuff like that. I think they know it's not good enough. They're going to give this one last good try, and the old college try. If it doesn't work out, they'll see what happens.
They're so far down the VRS ranking, Mac, as well. 27th, like.
That's not great.
Yeah.
That's quite bad, honestly.
Missing out you had to play the qualifiers, right? And you lose those too. So it's like, what's going on now?
Is there any particular reason why they're keeping the same roster into this season with the potential for them to swap after like 2 events?
Well, I guess the idea was they brought a new coach in, right? Flashy from Navi.
Right.
And they just signed Shuwei on a permanent deal. So if you have a new coach and IGL combo, surely you want to go, okay, instead of spending more money, because we spent so much money, and instead of kicking a player that's been so loyal to our organization as being a big part of everything that we've had, why don't we give him one more season with a new coach, a new IGL, because we know NAF is good, and he only recently got bad. And so I guess like the idea...
He knows his last chance to lose as well. If he wasn't grinding hard enough or it wasn't like locked in, I feel like this is the one time to like pull your finger out. Like like this could be a significant change in your kind of lifestyle if you're removed from Team Liquid, is you're not going to be on many people's buy list, like if this is the way you kind of whimper out of Team Liquid. So I hope NAF can bounce back. We know he can. We know how consistent and calm he can be. It's just whether he wants to deliver, whether he can find that form, whether they can put him in position to actually... There's no excuse anymore, because before when they had JKS, you could say, the roles are clashing and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
That's not a thing anymore.
No, it's not.
Well, the other side of things, I guess, is the format of this tournament. Mac, we just talked about FISSURE. We talked about how we enjoyed that format. We have a lot of great Swiss systems now on the pool. What do you think of these 16 playoffs that we've got?
Not necessarily a fan. After seeing the 8-team playoffs for a couple of the tournaments we've had recently, it just sits so much better. Even though it is still single elim, it just feels like, the teams that all go in as the 8 teams, they all have just as much stage time moving into the semis, moving into the grand final. And that is going to be a nice little buff. A lot of the time with 6-team playoffs, you'll see that sometimes the teams that go to the quarters instead of the semis, because they get that extra day on stage, they'll come in and they'll feel more comfortable, as opposed to the teams that might make it to the semis that don't have as much stage experience because they overperformed during stage 2. Then they don't get stage time and then they get defeated, and it doesn't really sit right.
Yeah, I think at the smaller IEM tournaments, the 16 playoffs feels like it just rapidly happens. Like you win 2 group stage games or whatever, and then you have a third to decide if you're going to semis or quarterfinals. Yeah. Like after 2 opening games, you're already in the playoffs, like confirmed. So it feels like that's...
I think after tasting the FISSURE format and just seeing how an 8-team kind of bracket looks, I feel like that has to be the way forward. It just takes like more time, I suppose.
It costs more money, etc.
Yeah, I feel like that's the dream, but like then you're like talking about having 4 best of 3s a day, and you've already got a B stream going on. It feels like there's already so much being crammed in. They kind of have
but I think it was easier to get away with that when you had less competition, but now VRS has opened up the competition. Yeah. It's like, we got better formats of these other tournaments. I think it's going to put more pressure on the likes of ESL to change it. So I'd say I think we're going to sell that, because I think it's going to be a thing of the past.
I think the only reason you can like argue for it is that when you want people to come and watch your tournament, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you need 3 days, and having like...
Thursday is usually empty. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So having 4 best of 3s on a day is like too much for an arena, and then also trying to sell out an arena for a Thursday is very difficult.
I guess then the idea is you have an extra playoff day where you have 2 quarterfinals instead of 4. Yeah. Like that's all you can really do, right? We did 4 quarterfinals at FISSURE. Was a bit much. We started the first game at 10 in the morning, and we were there till
PGL are also doing that for their playoffs.
Yeah. Well, they did 4 in a day. Mm-hmm. It can be done if it's like I'm sure PGL logistically did it better.
Yeah, they had a very quick turnaround on the game.
We did not have a quick turnaround. No. So I feel like if they can work that out, it's fine. But generally speaking, give us the 8 teams. Just have better planning, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that'll good on the future.
Let's sell it then.
Yeah, all right, we'll sell that off. You kind of touched on this already, Henry, but it was in the sell section. Anubis, should it been replaced or should it have been another map in the pool?
I think there are other maps in the pool that still aren't as exciting to watch. Like, as much as I love Dust 2, I don't think it really plays in the most exciting CS2-like way. It feels like it's quite cagey now. It feels like there's not really much innovation. Like, the most exciting thing we've seen on Dust 2 in terms of utility is like the top of the door smoke, like throwing that from spawn. That's all that's really happening. And like maybe Spirit do A split through CT spawn now. That's the only real innovation we're seeing. And everyone else, again, like Mirage, playing the same cookie cutter style. And like the most exciting variations are CTs going in towards lower, pushing up a tunnels, and this is
B splits, trying to be unpredictable if you're going short, if you're going B.
It's just getting to the point where there's only so much you can do with such a small map. So that's why Overpass coming in is really awesome. But it felt like we hadn't explored the limits of Anubis and CS2 as of yet. It feels like we're still, CTs were just finding their voice on the aggression on the defensive side.
I'm going to agree with you because I think Dust 2 is a map that I think should only be in the map pool for short bursts of time.
Yeah.
Like, because it's entertaining when it first comes back. You're like, oh, it's refreshing, it's exciting, we haven't done this in months. But then it's like, gets boring real fast. So I think have it in for a season every now and then take it out and replace it with something more innovative, more exciting. I think Dust 2 is something reliable. If you ever need something that you know a map is going to need a huge overhaul, Dust 2 is the map to put in because you know what you're going to get, right? It's reliable, Old Faithful. But it's also, Old Faithful isn't always the most interesting. Sometimes you gotta throw a little spice in your life, Mac.
So if you would have asked me, it would have been Mirage or Dust 2. What are you taking out?
Personally, Mirage, because I prefer Dust to play.
Yeah.
But I see the same argument, right? Like the only thing that could maybe innovate change is Dust has that sort of RNG of the form of the spawns, and if you maybe just go 5 limited spawns rather than like the 10 or 12 spawns that are currently there, maybe that will change the way that it's played. Maybe you always put them close enough to long that you can still brawl for it as a T, but the fact that it's all luck based for some strategies.
I don't think there should be any RNG in esports in general. So the fact you have 15 spawns, like
that's the thing that pisses me off the most. Actually,
it's even more random than it was in 1.6 and Source, because in 1.6 and Source you had lots of different spawns available, but they'd rotate in sets of 4. So every 4 rounds you could go, right, we're going to get the long spawn next round. You could, like, as a defense, you could work out whether they've got that long spawn. And you could start playing. We don't have that in CS2. It's just like everything spawns randomly. And most maps have 5 spawns, but Dust 2 for some reason has 15. So it's like a very random element of the game.
Especially when it's the only map that has it. It's like, why?
And it's the only map that is spawn based, and it's just like, everyone says if you get your long spawns in Dust 2, you take them.
And you see like, non-AWPers taking op shots.
And it's like that's cool and everything, but I feel like you should have RNG removed from
weakens the quality of the game. All right, I'm down to sell that. I think you've provided enough of a good case for another map instead of Anubis that we have to agree
and
with
Anubis
that.
looked nice as well. Like it looked like a nice CS2.
It was a good CS2 map.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Visually beautiful.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd change about it personally is when it comes back, CS2's got this thing where there's a lot of maps that are way too bright. Like Nukes one, Vertigo was one, that's gone now mostly. And there's places on Anubis where, like, because I use Bright Crosshair, just disappears into space and time.
All right, so turn down the sun a bit.
I would like the sun turned down slightly.
Me too, here in Malta, that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, on the hold section, is the final element of the show. I mean, Aurora have enough to make playoffs as Antares. I mean, you seem to be high on the xCloud thing.
Okay. I mean, I think xCloud is excellent. Like I said, I think he brings great vibes. I think he has aura. I think people are saying right now.
Aura in Aurora.
Aura and Aurora. That's a good tagline for it. We'll use that. Aura and Aurora. So
none of us going to be there, of course.
I feel like it'll be quite refreshing. I feel like it's an interesting time for whatever's going on. Zantares, wish him the very best, but it doesn't look good. And we'll seeing whether xFlow can step up. I think he can. I think he does bring a good attitude. And I'm going to say they make playoffs, and I'm going to hold on to that idea.
Oh, all right. Well, I think for me, I'm not going to hold on to that bag with you.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't agree. I think it's just better teams than Aurora. Personally, Mac.
I don't think Zantares has been in like hyper carry mode this season.
Yeah, but he increases their ceiling so high. Like that's the thing.
When he does pop off, you're right. Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say without Zantares, they're just not going to be as good for me.
I think I'm leaning with Henry. I think I have to.
You're going to help him hold it.
Yeah, I'll help xCloud.
The heavy back.
I'll sit there. I'll keep my eyes on xCloud and be like, let's see what you do, boy.
All right, excited for that. Well, I'm going to hold on to Vitality, obviously, because they're just sick. Like they're the most they're the best. They're like gold. They are the gold of Counter-Strike. Like they are just the asset that is stable and is just carrying things on. It's like Bitcoin.
True.
So I'm going to hold on to them absolutely going into the next season. I think they're going to be just as good, and other teams have to get better.
Well,
That's
the fact
my
I've already
idea.
said they're the favourites hands down to win this one. I think it'll be teams nipping at their heels like Falcons. I think they'll have close finals and close games.
Yep.
Vitality, yeah, absolutely agree. If anything, they'll look stronger. They've had a bit of time to retool now and come up with some new ideas and concepts.
And get the bald buff.
And true,
Yeah,
yes,
bald pecs.
Apex has shaved his head.
Yeah.
Bald pecs
What do you
era.
make of that, Mac?
I think he has a pretty good looking bald head.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
people that have some funky looking bald heads, but Apex
He's got
looks
the look. He feels
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
could be in like Train Spotting or something. Like
Yeah,
use that
no,
vibe.
actually surprisingly good.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
congrats to him.
yeah. Good for you.
Also,
That's
fits
always
his,
nice to
like,
know.
evil guy vibe. That
Yeah,
he's
now
going
you got a
for with the-
skinhead screaming across at you. Add some more fear in the group stages. So there we go. Vitality, I think we can all agree, are going to be held on to.
Yeah.
The other side of things, Mac, you're going to defend Maos because they were the best. They were probably the second best team of last season.
Well, it's about holding on, right? And I thought, that stage, stage 3 of the major when they came in, it went 0-2. I was like, oh my Lord, they're gone. And they were like one of these super stable through the Swiss stages teams, but managed to bring it back, managed to go all the way to playoffs. And they are definitely old reliable, but I want them to try to figure out the aura problem. They're just a team where it just feels like they're really good at Counter-Strike. But since Spinks has come in, that really didn't do him any favors in the aura department. He's kind of just like a guy. Like everyone on that team is just like a guy. Like maybe Torsey.
Torsy's got aura, I think.
He's got more aura after the major. Letting out his emotion, showing that he is human, and then also, what they're capable of when they hit their highs. They were the studio merchants, so that they're probably going to make it the playoffs, and they have been performing better on stage. Tournament after tournament since they have brought Spinks in. So there is an argument that they can make the run, but again.
But how far in the run? Do you think they're a team that are capable of making a grand final?
I think that they're always going to make playoffs. Like they're still at the.
But a
point where
grand
they're-
final specifically, do you think they are capable? A team that is capable of making a grand final. That is what you're trying to defend here, Mac.
They can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I
he
think
said that.
I definitely think that they can, but the storyline of I'm still too sold on like the Falcons Vitality storyline. So I'm holding on, to that, and I'm also holding on to Mouse.
All right. Well, there's a couple of worlds you'd be happy with then, Miles, possibly. I think, on a good day, like if Falcons, there's a chance they don't play as well than we expect. And I think Miles, they're going to be one of the consistent teams coming into the season. Like, we know what we're going to get out of Miles, and they were capable of finals last season, so surely that would carry over here.
I'm into it. I think Mouse might even make the final over Falcons, for example. I feel like there's a good chance of it. I feel like they are a team that's also getting slightly better every tournament they go to. They're close to beating Vitality.
Right.
Like every time they play against them, they seem to learn and evolve. So, yeah, I'm into it. I feel like, let's hold on to it together.
Right.
All of us holding on to Mouse.
The Malta Bros. Well,
Okay.
Mac, it's been great having you here.
Thanks for having me.
We've been seeing you in the gym a lot. We've been seeing what you've been doing there. Is there anything else you're doing at the moment, with content, or what's next for Macmate?
Yeah, well, I haven't got like any work booked, so you're going to see a lot of content.
Yeah,
I
you want
feel
to
like
ask
that's
her, you want to tell everyone you're available right there.
Yeah, everyone, if you are looking for someone that loves Counter-Strike, watches every tournament, and is fun and enjoys entertainment, maybe sometimes keeping clothes on, maybe sometimes doing the opposite, hey, I'm here.
So you need a CS commentator or a male stripper for a birthday party.
Magic Mac.
He's your guy. Magic Mac. That's not bad. We'll open you up a club here in Malta while we're not working in Cologne. We'll do something together. But thanks for being here, Mac. I appreciate it. Next episode, guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about the tournament that is happening here in Malta. It's going to be Blast Bounty Season 2. That's going to be going down in Malta. We'll also break down Cologne and go over the storylines that happened there. So thank you very much for watching. This has been episode 2 of The Post Plant, brought to you by Bitcoin.com Casino.